from Canterbury says he wants his General Service Medal handed back to the Prime Minister in protest at investigations against those who served in Northern Ireland during the Troubles. Tom Lynch's MP Rosie Duffield held the medal up in Parliament as she queried the sensitivity of the inquiries. This lunchtime, 150 Tory MPs and peers have delivered a letter to Downing Street claiming a new historical investigations unit would put service and security personnel at an exceptional disadvantage. Here's Simon Jones.
Now in retirement, but in recent years, Tom Lynch has received letter after letter from the military and solicitors asking about events during his time in Northern Ireland more than 45 years ago, questioning what particular soldiers were doing. He says it's leaving the men he commanded feeling harassed.
The Prime Minister can have my medal back. It was given to me for services on behalf of Queen and country. And I don't think now I'm getting that service back. I went out, along with many others, put our lives on the line, did our bit, and now they're reneging on their promise to look after our soldiers, veterans. You know, it's really very sad.
He's now given the medal he once wore proudly to his local MP.
My constituent, Mr Tom Lynch, received this service medal which he has asked me to personally return to the Prime Minister on receipt of a very distressing letter by the Historical Inquiries team. Please can we have every assurance that these investigations, whilst necessary, are being carried out in the most sensitive manner.
There have been claims that the government has placed too much emphasis on investigating former soldiers and not enough on scrutinising paramilitaries.
I can only reassure the House, speaking myself as a serviceman, how keen we are to try to address this issue.
And one organisation providing support to families bereaved in the Troubles has insisted ongoing investigations are vital. Simon Jones, BBC South East Today, Canterbury.
A former soldier whose leg was blown up by a landmine in Bosnia says a new multi-million-pound purpose-built development for ex-servicemen and women will be a lifeline for veterans. 59-year-old Gary Castle moved into a specially built apartment near Ditton last year. Now, the Royal British Legion Industries charity is planning to create more accommodation on the outskirts of Maidstone. The centenary village will cost £14 million in total to build. It'll include an on-site doctor and a community centre. And when it's finished, it'll provide space for 100 veterans. Charlie Rose reports.
A controlled detonation of a landmine in Bosnia. 1 million of these deadly devices were left after the war ended in 1995. Gary Castle was sent there to help clear them when there was a huge explosion.
My driver come running up the safe lane with a first aid kit and cut my trousers open, my combats, and said, "Don't look too good, boss, better get a chopper out and here's some morphine."
Years of complicated surgery couldn't save Gary's leg. Since then, he and his wife Carol, who's his carer, have struggled.
Yes, so we're now walking down the centre line of what's going to be the centenary village.
But for people like Gary, there's hope. The Royal British Legion Industries, a charity separate from the British Legion, has announced they're building accommodation for 100 extra veterans at their purpose-built site near Maidstone.
It is distinct that we have this accommodation which just provides the stability for the veteran or the veteran and their family to start on their progress back to independence. It's being able to bring together our own healthcare, our welfare and our employment offerings at the right time.
This is how it all began in 1919, after the First World War, helping soldiers discharged with tuberculosis. Next year, the charity celebrates its 100th anniversary, and soon, if it can raise the £14 million it needs, there'll be more apartments like this for people like Gary.
Being here, we both felt that life is a lot more calmer now, and we're not isolated.
There's also emergency accommodation on site for those unable to pay anything. A growing community of veterans where no one is judged. Charlie Rose, BBC South East Today, Ditton.